first step is, stage one is the needs analysis. What normally happens when you do a search, whether you're an internal recruiter or whether you're a recruiter that's brought in from the outside as a consultant, is they normally give you the job description and they say, go find one of these, whatever this is, a CEO, a vice president of sales, of marketing, or director of IT or whatever. They give you the job description because that's the job description the last guy had or the last person had. So we're going to do that again, right? No, we're not going to do that again. What we're going to do is a needs analysis. But before we get to the needs analysis, I want to talk to you about what the fundamental foundation of recruiting is all about. And it's not what you think. And, you know, Ron sort of gives me a hard time every now and then because I'm a bit of a tree hugger when I come to this. But here's the three fundamental things you have to understand if you want to hire Industry 4.0 leaders who will turn around your organization. You start with the head. Sorry, you start with the heart. And what do I mean by that? I mean, the people that you're looking for who aren't looking for you, when you call them up, most of them will just hang up because they don't know anything about you. You have to connect with them. So when I talk about the heart, what I mean is the best people won't come to your company because of money. They won't. They got a job, they got lots of money, and if they go to leave, their employer will just throw more money at them. So you have to connect with them. You have to connect with their heart. You have to get them to connect with your cause. Am I standing incorrectly here? You have to get them to connect with your cause. So heart. And once you've got them by the heart, I'll try over here. Think it's this thing? Oh, that was too easy. Thank you, Joseph. He's next and much smarter, obviously. So you have to connect with their heart. And once you've connected with their heart, the really smart people are going to want to understand what it is about the business that's compelling. So you need to connect with their head, heart and head. And once you explain all the parameters of the business and what the challenges are and show them that you understand the challenges and explain it to them really well, then you have to connect with the feet. And by feet, I mean you have to tell them in your organization how things actually get done.
So just to add a little bit to this, we're linking this with what Ron was speaking about, the company culture and the new company cultures that are out now, the ones that are succeeding with the 4.0 leadership. This is what we're talking about. This all comes together.
Okay, stage one is the needs analysis. Understanding the presenting needs. As I said, most organizations, when you walk in, they just give you the job description and say, go get me another one of these. You read it, someone's read it, or someone's written it, you don't necessarily understand it all, and you go out and find that person. Instead, the next time this happens, is you should do three things. I'm going to put this in my wallet and put it in my... You should go in and first do a skills gap analysis. Everybody know what a skills gap analysis is? Okay, but it's not just a skills gap analysis of the role. We'll talk about that in a second. It's a skills gap analysis of who else is in the organization at the executive level. And if the organization is at point A and it wants to go to point B, well, do they actually have all the skills to get there? Because there's no point going out and hiring a new VP of sales or a CEO to go from A to B if you're missing 5 things that no one in the organization has. So the skills gap analysis is not just about the role, it's about all of the people that you're not replacing. Are all of the skills there? You have to take that into account. And you have to take it into account in the beginning because a really smart candidate is going to interview you. And they're going to look to see if you actually have the skills that you need to go from A to Z. And if they find out you don't, they're gone. So you do the skills gap analysis first. Then you do a needs analysis. And we all know how to do a needs analysis. It's a deep dive into the actual functional position and the role. And then after you've done a skills gap analysis and a needs analysis, then you write the job description. And only after you've done the first two do you actually sit down and write the job description. And it may not actually look anything like the one you've just been handed. And that could be a very good thing. I take it out of my pocket, I click.
Another thing that's really important to do is a SWOT analysis. Are people familiar with that? Yes? So good. So really you have to look at this for the company, and this is more of a strategic view of the company to be able to explain it properly to your prospective candidates. You have to look at the strengths of your companies, your weaknesses, the opportunities that are arising, and also the threats. These in today's economy, in today's business world, these are things that happen fast and furiously, and they have to be brought up within the company so that you can lay out your strategic plan long term. There are so many companies now that will hire executives, will go through tons of money, spending tons of money to be able to complete their searches, and they have never bothered to do a SWOT analysis. They have no strategic long-term plans for their company. So they plan for the next 2-3 years. This is where they want to be. And then after that, I don't know, I guess we'll make up the plan as we go. It doesn't work well that way.
So we're in Brasov. Are you familiar with Uber? Do you think Uber did a good job doing their SWOT analysis? Because there are now competitors to Uber, right? Right here in Brasov and all across North America. I mean, Uber, when they disrupted the whole industry, thought that was it. We're the disruptors. Well, now the disruptors are getting disrupted. This is a pattern that will continue for the next couple of generations. So we're in step 2, and you're not finished yet, and you're already tired, right? Because your HR brain is now running on maximum. The last 2 steps you do before you're finished step 1, which is the understanding of the organization and the understanding of the presenting needs, is you have to choose a search committee. And by a search committee, if you're looking for a CEO, or let's say we're going to look for a VP of marketing during the whole talk, all right? So you need a new VP of marketing. Well, who should be doing the interviewing? Well, it's a search committee, and the search committee will be comprised of 3 to 5 people who are all around the board table, who are at a similar level, and the CEO, but you choose them ahead of time, and they know that they're on the search committee, and they're going to be told what to do fairly shortly. They don't know that yet, but you're going to tell them what to do. And from that group, you choose one person who's going to be the search chair, and you choose one person who can be unbiased and make sure that they actually, all the rest of the search committee, hire the best person for the job, not the most popular, not the one that Susie and George, go golfing with, but the best person for the job, and that's the search chair. What you end up with after you finish doing stage 1 is what you end up with is a very deep understanding of the organization and the actual need. So you go deep into the organization, get all that information before you go out looking for your next executive or your next executive level hire. And that's unusual because most people get the job description and they're out the same day.
Very often, this is something that recruiters or personnel agencies or yourselves in HR don't quite get to that level. They don't take or they're never given the opportunity to take the time to really understand what that role is about and everything that's implied with it. When you're hiring a C-level executive, somebody at the top level, you need to really understand what your company is all about, where they're going, what the issues are, and what the dynamics are of that position. So this is a really important step to follow right at the beginning.
Now, I'll admit, most companies that I work with, the HR director, the HR VP, have never done this. And in fact, most of them would never dare to ask their CEO a question or even challenge their senior executives about what it is they're really looking for. And so I bring them with me. They sit in all the meetings with me, the HR director, the HR VP at the organization. And the reason we do this is because I want them to see the look on the face of the CEO or the president or one of the senior executives when you ask them a question that they can't answer. Because it's important that you recognize that they don't know all the answers, and you see afterwards how they treat you. They're not mad at you. They're not upset that you asked them a question that they couldn't answer. They're impressed that you asked them a question that they really have to think about, and they might have to go back and get more information. So that's why we always